Today on the podcast, we're talking about social media platforms and which ones you can use to help promote your music and your career. All right, we'll see you guys on the inside. What's going on, guys? This is Mike from the Songwriter's Planner. You are here on the podcast. Super appreciated. You guys can stick around and check out these episodes. I'm racking up on the episodes here, and I've been really proud that I've been sticking with it. And this is kind of like I was saying in some of my earlier episodes, this has been a goal of mine to start something like this and be of some value to musicians and artists out there. That's really what I'm all about. I really love serving and helping out as much as I can. And I really appreciate you guys coming in and checking out these podcasts. So thank you. And just wanted to bring up, if you haven't had a chance to check out the Songwriter's Planner yet, it is a 6-month planner sold on my website, and it is specifically for musicians and artists to help you guys out there be more productive, be more creative, and just get more things done to help you move your music career further. Whether that's working on your website, building up your YouTube channel, writing more songs, or helping you be more productive in writing songs, then that's fine too. But it's not just that. It covers a wide gamut of things that we have to take care of as artists these days, because we're kind of expected to do it all. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. That's the best way to go. So please check it out when you get a chance. So thanks again for coming by. Today, we are going to talk about social media platforms, and it'll probably be a quicker podcast. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this today is because I've had a couple questions. A couple people hit me up online and say, hey, Mike, which social media sites should I be using for my music? Which ones are the most effective? Where can I find the most fans? How do I build faster? These are all great questions. And I think if you're an artist and a musician out there, you probably have asked yourself that question as well. You cannot get away without being on social media if you're an artist these days. If you can, then great, that's awesome. But being on social media, posting regularly, finding new audiences, it's all a part of what we do now. And picking the right platform is a big deal, because doing social media and updating your fans and staying on top of it takes time. It really does take a lot of time. If you do it regularly for your music, then you know what I'm talking about. You really have to think about what you're going to be posting, what's going to be the most informative to your fans, what's going to be the most entertaining, what do you think they want to see. You kind of want to pick the right places to spend this time. Me personally, I spend a lot of time on social media. I treat the Songwriter's Planner as if it was my musical project. So anytime comments come in on Facebook, I respond to all of them. On Instagram, I respond to all of them. And all of this takes a lot of time. There's no doubt about it. So which platforms do you want to be on? If you're going to be spending all this time, which platforms are going to be the most effective for you and your music? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, because they are not all created equal. And if you have an Instagram account, and if you have a Facebook account, if you have a Twitter account, number one, great, awesome job. And especially if you update those on the regular, good job out there, very cool. But they are not all created equal. And different platforms have different audiences, and even demographically, you can break it down. Say Pinterest. Pinterest has more of a female audience. Facebook has more of a older audience. And I don't want to say older, but the age range on Facebook is a little bit older than, say, on Instagram. So you have all these dynamics going on with these different sites, and it can really be a headache to try and figure out, God, where should I be posting this stuff? So I just post one thing and just share it on all of my sites at once. These are all just things that we have to think about when we're trying to promote our music and get more people into our music. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. Like I said, this is probably a shorter podcast because I have talked about this stuff before, and I just kind of wanted to dedicate one episode to discussing this. And if you guys have comments out there and you have suggestions and you have information that you think would be helpful to other artists, please leave them on my Facebook page, leave them in the comments on this blog post on Facebook. Just share it out there. I really encourage you guys to share your knowledge, because it'll only make a stronger musical community if we can get that done. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing today. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the major platforms that we have out there. Okay, we got the obvious, the 800-pound gorilla, which is Facebook, right? We got Facebook out there. We have Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. We have Twitter. We have YouTube. We have Pinterest. We have Snapchat. We have Vine. I don't know if Vine's still a thing anymore, but these are the major players out there. And I'm not counting LinkedIn. I know LinkedIn is out there. You could probably use LinkedIn. Actually, I shouldn't say not count it. You could probably use LinkedIn as a really great connection tool for your music. So I'm not going to count that out. But obviously, each one of those platforms are very specific to their delivery. And let's talk about the first one, which would be Facebook. Facebook is obviously the most dominant platform, has the most users. I mean, I think half the population of the world is on Facebook. So if that doesn't tell you enough, it's out there. And like I was saying earlier, the average age range of Facebook is skews a little bit older. When I say older, I probably mean more like late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, actually probably in the 30 to 60 range. There's a lot bigger audience on Facebook that are in that age demographic. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important to know, at least to know, because when you're picking a platform to create that you're going to emulate your music on, you want to think about who your audience is. Who is your audience? What is their demographic? If you're in your early 20s, or if you're in your late teens, early 20s, and you're emulating everything on Facebook, you're still going to get a great audience. But it might be great to focus more on Instagram, because Instagram has a younger generation, more users that are fit the millennial generation. So it really matters what age range each platform kind of suits. Also, too, if you have a younger age generation, you have different language, different lingo that you use with that, as opposed to Facebook, where you probably be more straight ahead, more to the point about things. It just has different feels. So you got Facebook out there. The one thing I do love about Facebook is its advertising platform. Okay, the advertising platform on Facebook is just so robust and so detailed that running ads on Facebook is getting easier and easier every day. To learn how to do it and to be effective. And the more ads that Facebook has run, the more it learns about you. And you just can't beat its ad platform at this point. Twitter has an ad platform. You can run video ads on YouTube, which is great, and that's all cool. But as far as being one step ahead of the game, definitely Facebook has the best ad platform available to musicians and artists, to any business really. So I would definitely encourage you guys to check out how to run Facebook ads and learn the algorithms that it uses to run your ads to people. Super valuable, super valuable. Now, I mentioned before as well that Facebook owns Instagram, and they do. So that ad platform you run ads on, also you can run that on Instagram, and you can run your own ads in that space only if you want to, and run ads to that generation or that group of people. So Facebook and Instagram have an amazing ad platform together, and definitely check it out when you get the chance, because it's super crucial, and it's a really, really good tool for musicians and artists to take the time to learn. I cannot stress that enough. So we have Facebook and Instagram. Let's talk about Twitter for a little bit. Now, Twitter's definitely stands onto its own. With Twitter's differences between Facebook and Instagram and everything else, let's start with the 140 characters limit. I believe it is still 140 characters. That is really challenging for the artist, because you have to be very brief. You can post videos and you can post URLs and things like that, but you're limited to 140 characters. So usually Twitter is meant for just like quick updates, quick things that if you have a great following on Twitter, that's awesome. It's great for just little quick updates. Unfortunately, I don't think that musicians and artists really benefit a whole lot from Twitter. Now, if you're like, if you're Kanye West and you're a celebrity, Twitter's great. But for the rest of us, the musicians who are really starting to try and build something, Twitter is a really difficult platform to get a following on. It serves a lot of businesses, a lot of celebrities, a lot of athletes and stuff like. It's kind of just meant for from what I've experienced and what I've talked to and I've worked with other people on. Twitter is definitely more of a transmit only type of scenario from influential type of people. Now, that may not be true for every scenario. If you are successful at building a fan base on Twitter, then more power to you. Stick with what works. Like, stick with the platform that's working for you. You can't go wrong with that. But I think if you're starting from scratch, I think Twitter is a little more challenging for artists, just because you can't get enough out. You cannot post enough text. You can put videos, you can put graphics up in flyers. It's just difficult. The one thing I do like about Twitter is their hashtag algorithm. Using hashtags is really, really helpful to find new interests, to find new music, to find new artists, and to have people find you. Twitter started the hashtag craze, and it's still going strong today. Matter of fact, Instagram uses hashtags as well. I did not mention that. Hashtagging on Instagram is awesome. It is so powerful because it will help other people find your music based on the hashtags you use. You have a maximum of 30 hashtags that you can use on Instagram, and with every post, use hashtags and use them over and over and over and over again, and just use all 30 of them. If you're promoting your music, use all 30 hashtags. Twitter, on the other hand, you can use as many hashtags as you want as long as it fits into the 140 character limit, and that includes your hashtags. So if you use a couple hashtags there, you're already down. Your text is already even shorter. So that's why I say Twitter is a little more challenging, but if it works for you, then keep doing it. Don't stop doing something that's working for you, okay? For sure. So we got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Let's talk about YouTube. And initially, people don't think of YouTube as a social media platform. It is a video platform. And I can see the argument in that people wouldn't really look at YouTube as a place that people collect and congregate and share information. That's a valid argument. It really is. YouTube, you can leave comments, you can interact with people, which is pretty much a requirement these days for any social media site. But as far as putting a video, say you put a video up of your band, when people comment on it, it's an opportunity for you to re-engage with them, back with them. And that to me counts as a social media site. When you are being social with people who are coming to you or coming to your page and interacting with you. And YouTube definitely fits that definition. And the advantage of that is that you get to play long form videos on YouTube. And, and you can do that. You can do long form videos on Facebook. But the thing about YouTube that makes it so unique is that when people go to YouTube, we are expecting more longer form videos, and we're expecting to spend more time there. When you go to YouTube, you just expect to spend more time watching videos, looking at things, as opposed to Facebook, where you can post long form videos, but it's more of kind of like a swiping thing. People are just swiping by, and the chance of them stopping to watch your video for a longer period of time is very, very minimum. It's just not a platform that people will sit and park at. YouTube, you can do that. I've done that. I've watched movies on YouTube. I mean, it's just a platform where people understand I can stay here for a while and I can watch longer form videos. And if you couple that with the fact that you can leave comments on it, that is a true social media site and very valuable to musicians. If you do not have a YouTube channel yet and you are serious about building a fan base or getting your music career going or doing anything with music, start a YouTube channel. Just start one, put one video up, and start from there. It is such a prerequisite now that you should have your own platform to send your videos out to people who are looking for you or don't even know they're looking for you. Having your own channel is so valuable as an artist, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable to be on camera, because I know not everybody likes doing it. But it's so valuable to have your own YouTube channel that I would highly stress. It's as important as having your own Facebook page, important as having your own website. I mean, the list goes on. So YouTube, very important. Another aspect of YouTube is being able to embed your videos from YouTube onto say your website, or embed them in other places. Just set up shop in YouTube and start there. Start with a video and just put one up once a week or once every 2 weeks if you have to. So YouTube's super valuable. And okay, so we got YouTube. Let's talk about Snapchat. Snapchat is let's go back to the argument about demographics. Okay, Snapchat definitely caters to the younger generation, the younger demographic. And if you are an artist and that's kind of where your wheelhouse is, then definitely try Snapchat out. Try it out and see what kind of traction you get there. Snapchat is definitely more of a picture share, filter, fun kind of place. So you probably, what you want to do is, if you're using Snapchat, you want to probably keep it fun and not so promotion-y or salesy. Just keep it fun, keep it interesting, and just stay active on Snapchat. That's one of those places where it just has its own unique feel to the generation it's serving. And if you're not familiar with Snapchat, I would say learn up on it a little bit before you jump in there, or start your account and just observe for a while. Observe. Because if you kind of go in and you don't know exactly how to use it, then you're not going to be very successful in creating any kind of following on Snapchat. It's just such a unique platform that it has its own way that it works with the audiences. Okay, so if you're already using Snapchat and it's working for you, like I said, keep on keeping on. Keep going with what works. That is the bottom line. It doesn't matter. So those are the major platforms that we have. A little bit of thoughts that I have on each. And as I just mentioned, the most important thing is to use the platform that works for you the best. Now, if you don't know what that is, because you've always used Facebook and you're always curious about, should I just promote more Instagram, then try it. Give it a shot. It costs you nothing to start an account, and you can test for as long as you want. Say you want to do an Instagram account, go ahead. Start up an Instagram account, start doing some hashtags, put up a couple photos, and just slowly start to feel these platforms out and see what works. That is the beauty about social media, is that it doesn't cost you anything to start, and you can test which ones work for you. I would say the only one that I would say you should really, really seriously consider is a YouTube channel. And like I mentioned that earlier, just seriously consider starting that one if you haven't already, because that is super valuable to you. And if you keep doing it, it will certainly help you as an artist, and you'll have that platform to emulate your music from a place like YouTube that has millions and millions and millions of people that visit that website. So, but I stress really how much to do testing, test these different platforms and see which ones work. Another thing that I think we need to take into account is your team. How many people are actually working with you? In other words, are you a band? Do you have members in your band that can help you with the social media? If you have team members, or if you have band members, it might be helpful to delegate maybe one person to a platform. Say one Facebook, one Instagram, because as I mentioned before, social media takes up a lot of time, and if you have people on your team that you can kind of get these sites going at once, then it really, really saves a lot of time. The trick is just to kind of coordinate and make sure that everybody's on the same page as what's being posted. That might be a little bit easier said than done, but having multiple people posting towards one common goal is really, really a lot of help. It really helps a lot. On the flip side, if it's just you and you're just a solo artist, then you might want to just pick the platform that you are the best at. If that's Facebook, stick with Facebook. If it's Instagram, stick with Instagram. That's not saying that you shouldn't be on the other sites, but you should definitely focus on one site and emulate from out, because it just takes so much time and effort to build up an audience that you want to be authentic. When you post on these sites, you want to be as authentic as possible because people can see through what you're posting, and they want to connect with you in a way that is genuine and real. So if it's just you and you're having trouble keeping up with posting on many different sites, just focus on one. There's nothing wrong with that. Just focus on one and emulate out to your other sites as more of a second priority, but just make sure that you're always focused on at least one social media site. If it's just you, if you can handle more than one, great, then do that as well. There's a lot of artists that can do that. So if you're able to do that, I would say keep doing that for sure. But don't get overwhelmed with your sites. Don't get overwhelmed with it. Just do the best that you can on one, and then as you pick up speed and as you get more comfortable with it, incorporate another social media site into your daily schedule or into your weekly roundup of posting on social media. Okay. And I think that that's kind of what I just wanted to talk about today, is just go over these sites. Basically, the theme is whatever is working for you, stick with it. And if you want to try a new site, test on it and test. There is nothing wrong with doing that. And I would highly encourage that, because you never know. You might find an audience on Twitter. You might find that. You might find an audience on Snapchat. They're all different. SoundCloud's another one. SoundCloud is by definition also a social media site, because you can post your music on there and people can comment on it. People can actually comment in the song where they like if your chorus is rocking, someone can actually comment on that chorus at that time, like at that beats, at that measure right there. And that you don't see that anywhere else. I mean, SoundCloud is awesome like that. So SoundCloud is a great social media site. As artists, definitely have somewhere where you can post your music. And I'm not talking about a place like iTunes. I'm talking a place that you can do it for free and you can get feedback from fans in the comments. That's what SoundCloud is great for. And I'm glad I covered that one as well, because that is super crucial, along with a site like YouTube. So that kind of goes through what I wanted to talk about today. I know this is going to be a quicker podcast, but basically what works for you, go all in on it, okay? And post on as many sites that you can handle. Now, don't get crazy with it, but post on it. What it really comes down to, how much can you handle, and still keep it genuine and authentic with your fans. As a rule of thumb, I focus on two to three sites mainly. I focus on Facebook, Instagram, and then of course YouTube. That to me, for what I like to do for Songwriter's Planner and for my musical projects, those three cover pretty much the gamut as far as my audience and the platforms that I'm able to use and handle during the week, because I do pretty much everything. Those are the three sites that I can handle the workload for. And if I get overwhelmed, I get busy, then I may not post on one of the sites for that day. But I try to post every day. I try to do every day on at least Facebook and Instagram, because it just keeps you alive in your fans' minds. You don't have to get crazy with it, just something small. Can't do every day, just do every other day. But your workload, depending if it's just one person, you're probably going to be able to get away with two to maybe three sites. If you have more people, in your band, definitely go all in on try to do 4 social media sites or something like that. Okay. But those are the numbers I use. Whatever you do, whatever works for you in your schedule, implement that. And last but not least, before we sign off here, don't forget about email, guys. I'm huge newsletter fan guy. I get sent out an email every week. I know it's not really a social media doesn't fit into the social media aspect, but newsletters are great ways for you to connect with your fans and to keep them informed. So don't forget about that. And I will probably post another podcast in the future talking about email and newsletters and how much I am in love with them and how much you should be too, but that's going to be saved for another time. So as usual, guys, if you have comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to hit me up, Mike@songwritersplanner.com. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram. Hit me up on my website. Hit me up on email. You know where to find me. And I appreciate you guys swinging by, and I'll see you on the next podcast, all right? Peace and love.